set. Jeffers on the inside, Argyros on the outside. We're ready to go main event racing. It's 25 laps or 45 minutes for the drivers in Pro 2000. Lining up, and we are green, green, green. Big move to the outside there for Andres Cardenas. He tries to go around. I think he's going to be able to get that spot over to turn number 6. Cardenas in the Jay Howard car goes to second. Jeffers out to the early lead. He'll run the full racing line through. The battle further back. Argyros goes to third. Side by side, though, that is Mossman going at it as well. It's Mossman right there with Thomas Schrag. They're side by side for fourth position. Schrag gets through. He goes to P4. Mossman's now getting attacked from behind for Brady Golan and Teddy Masella. Good opening lap for the pro drivers as they rocket their way through turn number 10, 11, and 12. Back out onto the front straightaway. So the opening lap of 25 going in the books here. Jeffers with the lead. Cardenas is looking for that first victory. Does he have a good car coming out of the gate? Jeffers with a couple of car legs coming through turn number 3. So the leader out to the initial lead. Jeffers, Cardenas, Argyros, Mossman, and Schrag was the first time by. But indeed, we talked about Schrag able to get into the 4th position, waiting for live timing to check back up here as our first time at speed down into turn number 5. 12 drivers looking good so far. Big move to the inside there. Oh, side by side. Look at that. Masella going at it, I believe, with the 22 of Manson. We do see a driver's gone wide. That is, I believe, Tyke Durst went wide coming out of turn number 5. I'm not sure whether that driver was able to continue or not. Jack Jeffers, Cardenas, Argyros, Schrag, and Mossman. Everybody able to continue through from that incident that we saw down in turn number 5. So you can see Cardenas not letting Jeffers get away at all. And that fight further back continuing there as well, as it's Colin Aiken there as well, trying to get his way by Masella. So a number of different battles kind of forming up here right now early on in a 25-lapper tie for USF Pro 2000. But the first couple laps in the books, the rhythm is there, and there's been a bit of a gap developed as well, which would be nice to get things underway for a couple laps.
Yeah, that was a nice hold-your-breath couple of opening laps with a nice challenge from Andres Cardenas on Jack Jeffers on that opening lap. He is not letting him get away either. He is in his sights trying to maintain that second position and look for an opening as they now make their way through the left-hander at corner number 4.
One of the things to remember as well, because we don't have pit stops like IndyCar does, we're set up for a long run of 25 laps. The cars aren't great to drive in the first couple of laps. The tire pressures are set purposely low, knowing that they're going to increase as the tire temp comes into the rubber itself. So they're a bit of a handful in the opening couple of laps. So that's when the best drivers are able to kind of stretch away a little bit. Once the tires come up to temperature, the pressure gets to where it needs to be, the setup kind of comes into play. Oftentimes you'll see these cars go quicker and quicker throughout the entire run. These Continental tires are just so consistent. As the car burns fuel and gets lighter and lighter, we're seeing the fastest times late. Out of turn number 6, we're going to have a defense from Jack Jeffers because Andres Cardenas is starting to put some pressure on the point leader right now. He is up on top of him. Cardenas looking for that first win for Jay Howard. A little bit of an issue there for the 44 of Golan coming into the braking zone of 7. You watched him check up a little bit here. But the leaders up front. Yeah, that's the battle up front here right now. That's what we need to be watching. Jeffers is right there. Look at Argyros closing back up as well. Again, is that car Jeffers going to come in late? You never know. Did they go a little higher in the pressure for Cardenas to potentially try to get to the lead? Cardenas put a lot of pressure on the back straightaway. And that's where you will get the draft on these cars as well. One of the things we talk about, because from USF 2000 to USF Pro 2000, it's more of everything. It's about 60 more horsepower. You've got bigger tires, more braking capability. It's a larger aerodynamic wing package as well, so a lot more aero. But what you also get in a sweeping corner is what's called aero wash. You get in behind a car, you're not getting that air flowing over the front wing. You start to lose that grip on the front. The car wants to push into the corner, has understeer. Not a lot of corners like that here, maybe just turn number 6, but it's a braking corner. Otherwise, that draft does come into play quite a bit, Todd.
Cardenas not as close this time to Jack Jeffers as they make their way around the right-hander through corner number 6. Did sort of move over just a little bit to remind him that he is there. And that's what he's going to do now, I would suspect, is just, here I am. I'm going to remind you that I'm here. I'm going to look for an opportunity and force you to perhaps make a mistake.
So in our program, you are allowed to what's called defend. You're allowed to make moves to the inside to kind of essentially block the inside line, but you can't do that essentially in reaction to the driver behind you. So if you come up to a corner and the driver makes a move to the inside, you can't then close it off and come across in front of them. You can only make the move first, and that's one thing you'll see Jeffers potentially do is cover off the bottom. You may even see the same thing with Cardenas if Argyros is able to close back up, but Argyros currently running in third. He's got to worry actually about Thomas Schrag and the TJ Speed Motorsports machine. Schrag's having a good run here in P4.
I was just going to say, Schrag is looking good again today. He was very well known in yesterday's race, making some good moves, and also looking now to climb into that final podium position.
That's it. Schrag trying to get himself back up here as well. He has a good shot there on the exit of turn number 5. Everybody kind of having their opportunity to turn, do whatever they want in terms of the exit line coming out of that corner. It's all about where you enter and where you make your turn in. Lead right now, last time by about 0.4 of a second. You see it manually there. You can see that Cardenas doing whatever he can to try to close back up, at the very least stay with Jack Jeffers right now. Love seeing the fact that we've got essentially 6 different teams in the top 6. We have 6 teams in the paddock. Exclusive Autosport leads, Jay Howard second, Pabst Racing third, TJ Speed fourth, VRD Racing in fifth, and Turn 3 Motorsports in sixth. So one driver from every team currently running in the top 6.
That is definitely what you want to see in terms of this program. And Cardenas is definitely not letting Jeffers get away as we're working lap 5 of 25. In fact, that gap has shrunk just a little bit.
So Jack Jeffers currently with a 7-point lead over the missing a Scorpione. Leonardo in second spot. It is 7 points right now. You got to go back another 18 to G3 Argyros. We got a full course yellow. Caution on the course. Trying to figure out what's happening here on the racetrack right now as we have a full course yellow with 5 laps in. Unsure why at this point we've gone full course, but the drivers are all woeing things up. They'll have the yellow lights around the racetrack. Flags are flying, full course yellow. And indeed, being told a potential car in the runoff area, waiting for a call potentially to come from race control here to find out who that may be. Trying to see if they come back around. It might be the number 7 of JT Hoskins. Joey Brienza in the number 91 out after just 1 lap. I'm assuming he's gone to pit lane. JT Hoskins potentially in that Jay Howard number 7 off in a runoff area around the racetrack. And if you're in the runoff and can't get it turned around and back out onto the racetrack, we got to go full course because you can't have that runoff with a car in it where another driver needs to use that escape route.
Sort of defeats the purpose of the runoff area if there's a car already in it. So it looks like the 7 car, they will assess whether they can maneuver that car, get him restarted and back out on track, or whether they're going to have to.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we're even going to bring the pace car out. If they were able to get out the crews in that corner with a quick jack to get that car turned around very quickly, if JT fired it back up and continued on, there's no need to go back to pace car. So it'll just be essentially a single file restart. The race control will call down to all the drivers, say line things up, we're going to go back at it. So indeed, there we are, working our way down again through turn number 9 over to turn number 10. We're going to go back to green flag racing right now as the rest of the field. There comes Tyke Durst to close back up. Jeffers will be able to get on it. The punch off is coming out of turn number 7. We actually do start back on the front straightaway. So Jeffers right here, we'll get back on the throttle and we'll go back to green flag, I believe. We're underway, indeed we are. Green flag once again, back at it, lap number 6 in the books, and away we go. So finally being told it was the 7 of Hoskins off in turn number 6. So the end of the long back straightaway, able to continue on. I don't know that he's even lost a lap. If he's back on the racetrack now, I think he'll be rolling still. Oh, we got a good fight a little bit further back there, do we not? Look at that battle for 6th, 7th, 8th. They're kind of lining things up. Does anybody make a move to the inside? No. It's actually a cover to the bottom for the 25 of Masella. That looked to me like Colin Aiken had to check up on the inside there. Tried to think about going to the inside, but if a driver comes across you, there's really not much you can do. All you can do is kind of check up and let that driver come through.
And it looked like, as you mentioned earlier, you can move to set your racing line, but you cannot move in defense. And Teddy Musella took kind of a defensive line into that Remington horseshoe to prevent a challenge coming out.
And when he did that, when you're more shallow on the entry, you're going to be wider on the exit. So you had to go way wider on the outside, and no one able to tuck back in to do the over-under. So that's going to be the only thing you can do if a driver does dive to the inside, but you don't want to open up too much to have another driver potentially throw it up the inside of the racetrack. Up front though, the way they ran before the yellow, kind of setting back in here again. We are watching Sebastian Manson. He's still staying right there, I think, with Frankie Mossman. So we'll watch that. In fact, has he got himself by? I think he's already potentially by. As they come around, yeah, I think that potentially Manson now up into P5. Frankie Mossman's dropped down to 7th position in the VRD Racing number 77 machine. Here's that shot looking back at turn number 3. Andres Cardenas not giving up at all as he tries to chase down Jack Jeffers here. Jeffers trying to see if he can't win a couple of races here to pull a point lead. Little brake lockup, but he went deep. He carried that left front lockup deep into the corner. And the issue with that, folks, is that when you lock a tire up like that, you've essentially flat spotted one part of that tire. And the issue is that flat spot is going to want to continue to grab. So we will keep a close eye on Jeffers, whether or not that left front locks up anymore. The more it locks, the more it flat spots, the easier it is to grab every time you get on the braking. It's just a little too deep into the corner for Jeffers, trying to see if he couldn't carry more speed into the corner to try to get away from Cardenas. That's the pressure we talked about. Maybe you're not making a move, but you keep that pressure up and try to see if the driver up front will make a little bit of a mistake.
The best view of that left front tire smoke was for Andreas Cardenas, who will be emboldened now and try to push as hard as he can to get Jeffers to make that other mistake and maybe lock that tire up again and again, creating an opening for him to get around and score that first victory.
Andres Cardenas had a pretty good mid-season run at one point from Road America, Mid-Ohio, 4 podiums over the 5 races, but 11th and 14th in the 2 races at Portland up in the Pacific Northwest last weekend. He's trying to bounce back from a disappointing weekend there at Portland International. Can he come away with a victory here? His first and second pulling away Jeffers and Cardenas. As I think G3 Argyros pretty soon here is going to have his hands full with Thomas Schrag, the driver out of Bethel, Ohio, trying to see if he can't get himself onto the podium. He's keeping himself in Argyros' mirrors 100%. Look how much he closes up there. Deep onto the brakes into turn number 5, and indeed, we'll see whether or not Schrag's got what it takes to find a way by G3 Argyros.
It is a 2-car battle for the lead, and it is also a 2-car battle for that final podium position. Thomas Schrag definitely closed up a lot in that Remington hairpin, and looks like the Argyros has given a little bit of a gap, but that battle up front is relentless between Jack Jeffers and Andreas Cardenas.
Yeah, look at this little turn-in adjustment there for Jeffers, a bit wide coming through turn number 7 into turn 8. Kink turn number 9. Cardenas is right there with him. But again, this track is a tough one. You've got to pick your passes. We talked about the fact that overtakes don't usually happen just in the corner where you make the pass. A pass in turn number 3 could start here in 10, 11, and 12. You get a better run through. You got more pace coming out of 12. You carry more through 1 and 2. That gives you the opportunity to dive to the inside. Let's see if Cardenas has something here. He gets a good run through the corner. Can he tuck to the inside? Not close enough. Jeffers again running the full racing line. This is good stuff up front. This is mano-a-mano battle, a 2-driver fight coming in here to the midway part of this race. Remember, lots of laps still to go. A 25 lapper for Pro 2000. Longer race, 10 more laps than yesterday. Jeffers still leading, but Cardenas right on the rear attenuator coming out of turn number 5. Again, you take it coming into the corner, but if you go deeper, you're going to give up a little bit of the exit, and that may help Jeffers there, but Cardenas has got that big draft coming down the back straight.
This is a good head-to-head battle between Jack Jeffers and Andreas Cardenas, who looks up the inside, but Jack Jeffers goes wide now, and Cardenas is going to go through.
To the inside, book it. Cardenas takes over the lead. Over in turn number 6, a great move to the inside. Jeffers going to put the pressure on right now as well as Cardenas looking for that first USF Pro 2000 victory. A fantastic pass. Great run out of turn number 5. Fully using the draft coming down into 6, put the car to the inside. And that's that decreasing radius right-hander as he was able to keep it to the inside. Jeffers wise, wasn't quite there for the over-under. Now we're going to see who has the fastest race car. Does Cardenas pull away for the win, or can Jeffers then now go from being the hunted to the hunter? Is he the one that puts the pressure on, or does Andre Cardenas break that goose egg and get his first win in the USF Pro 2000 program?
The battle has not changed in terms of distance, but they have swapped positions since the last time through here at corner number 4 and headed down to the Remington Horseshoe. But now Andreas Cardenas seems to be opening up just a little bit of a gap on Jack Jeffers.
Cardenas is, again, quite a ways back in the championship right now. I'm not sure whether we can think of him as still kind of being in it right now. He's back by almost 70 points, 69 points from Jeffers, so he gained a little bit here. but a win for him would be big. I think for the confidence as well. And remember, how great a story would this be if he ends up winning this race? Remember, he didn't get his visa approved to come to Canada until Thursday. Had to fly through New York to be able to come to Canada with the visa approval. He didn't think he was racing here this weekend. And I guess potentially, luckily for him, nothing happened on Friday, and he got a chance to go on the racetrack on Saturday morning.
Amazing. Just a small gap now between the new leader out front, Andres Cardenas, Jack Jeffers in hot pursuit, and that is a good third place battle as well out on the track. Those two going head to head with G3 Argyros and Thomas Schrag.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not Schrag has what it takes. He's been very fast from the get-go. We actually followed Thomas for probably the first 5 or 6 minutes of the USF Pro 2000 practice session on Saturday morning because he was hanging it out. He wanted to make sure that he was pushing through that entire session for TJ Speed. The rear was out of that car, but he was hustling the thing around. Thomas Schrag, one of the drivers in the USF 2000 Championship battle last year, came up just short with the Jeffers score in that crown. But he's a very talented driver and is trying to get himself up on the podium here and continues to put the pressure here on G3 Argyros. Right behind them, Sebastian Manson, the New Zealander, running in 5th spot. Teddy Musella in 6th. Frankie Mossman 7th. Colin Aiken in 8th. 9th and 10th. Brady Golan and Tyke Durst. JT Hoskins, the issues we said, back out onto the racetrack as well. And Joey Brienza back onto the racetrack, I think, must have been some kind of an issue for Joey. But they've got him back on track, the exclusive Autosport team remedying whatever that issue that brought him to pit lane. Looks like he's back on track.
You can see that the gap is growing between first and second as Jack Jeffers starts to fall back just a little bit. The gap is now about a half a second to the leader, Andres Cardenas. G3 Argyros remains in third, and that battle is a long way from being settled as well, with the 26 of Thomas Schrag focused on the gearbox.
Yeah, we're still coming to the halfway point right now. Last time by, Cardenas was about a 1/10 of a second quicker than Jack Jeffers. He got the fast lap as well, a 1:24.15. They were almost 8/10 of a second faster than both Argyros and Thomas Schrag. So the front two drivers are stretching away in a big way here right now, and both these drivers trying to stack on points to keep themselves in the championship fight as we head to the Milwaukee Mile in just 2 weeks' time. Excited for that proper IndyCar level oval for the drivers here at USF Pro 2000. Todd, we haven't run a big oval like that since a couple years back at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Otherwise, they've been restricted the last couple of years to the 5/8 mile oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park at the Carbonite Classic. This is a proper oval for these drivers here. They're carrying full speed, full throttle, all the way to the apex of the corner in turn 1, knocking it down from 6th to 5th, back on power. It's going to be a fun race. And the drivers told me from the test we did on the Monday after Road America, they expect to see 2 wide racing in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's going to be fun.
That'll be super exciting for the USF Pro 2000 series at their next event at the Milwaukee Mile. And again, a great step in the learning process to go from IRP up to the much bigger oval and have a good step in their development.
Again, I always talk about the fact that we're trying to train these drivers to go to the NTT IndyCar series, but for the first step we're trying to train is to be able to get into Indy next. And they run a number of ovals, the big ovals, as we know, in the next program. So we want these drivers to have that experience. And that, in our discussion through the end of the season last year is, do we add a second oval back again as we've had before for USF Pro 2000? 1 oval for USF 2000, 2 for the USF Pro 2000s. And I think it's a great opportunity for these drivers to really hustle around a very fast Milwaukee Mile. It's going to be a lot of fun. Last time by, a 23.7 for Cardenas. He did a 23.6 the lap before. 1.2 seconds the gap right now. Being told we have a driver off the racetrack at a tire barrier. The 44 there, potentially, of Brady Golan has made contact with a tire barrier on the racetrack. Full course yellow once again. So that 1.2 second lead for Cardenas will disappear in a flash. Full course yellow here, working lap number 14. As Brady Golan in the 44, we're being told, in a tire barrier. Not quite sure as we scan our cameras that we have available, but we'll do the best we can to help you out with that one. What that says is we've got Cardenas, Jeffers, Argyros, Schrag, and Manson in the top 5. It's going to give Jeffers a chance to go back at Cardenas. It's going to give Argyros a chance to go at Jeffers, Schrag at Argyros. Everybody get another opportunity to make a pass. Because I'll say this, the best opportunity to make overtakes is the opening lap. The second best is a restart. then, of course, you go racing after that. Restarts are a great opportunity, Todd, as we know, to potentially jump on a driver and get to the inside and try to take over an apex.
And that's what happened with Cardenas on the last restart with Jack Jeffers. So field will get slowed up. And again, this is an opportunity where we've moved past the halfway point. A little bit of fuel is burned off, as you said. So the car's handling characteristics are going to change and evolve a little bit over this 25-lap race. Does it favor one driver over another? Is it an opportunity for Jeffers to let things cool down just a little bit and focus and look for an opportunity on this restart?
You know, I look at the lap times on that last lap, and the big separation was essentially 4 tenths. Cardenas was 3 or 4 tenths quicker than Jeffers, and Jeffers was 3 or 4 tenths quicker than Argyros. The gap is there. They're running where they are on the racetrack, because that's what the pace dictates right now. It's not like another driver is the same place and it's just followed back. The bottom line is that we're seeing essentially the driver out front being there because he's the fastest driver on the racetrack. So again, the AMR IndyCar safety team working their way around have not yet got an update. We have not yet been able to see where Brady Golan has gone off the racetrack. Hoping to get a look at that, but at this point here, we'll circulate under yellow. 14 laps down, 11 laps still to go, a 25-lapper, as we know, lots of time still here as well, 23 minutes on the clock. We're hoping to get this one done quicker because, again, we have Victory Lane. We hope to see you all there for USF Pro 2000. I'm expecting a big crowd there, Todd, because the minute we're done, like, we're going to roll through pretty quickly our Victory Lane because opening ceremony starts right after us. So ideally, we'll get this thing done with not another yellow flag. We can get our drivers from pit lane over to Victory Lane. We'll be able to chance to talk to our race winner. And at that point, celebrate and make way for the opening ceremonies for the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy at Markham. It's been an interesting weekend for sure. The action did not start until Saturday morning, but when it did, the NASCAR Canada guys had a fantastic opening session. We only had one yellow flag at the end of our USF 2000s. The pro drivers were able to get their full 20-minute session in. And Todd, you've heard it from almost every driver anybody's talked to. They love this racetrack. You never know what you're going to get when you come to a street circuit. Totally repaved, the elevation changes. Our drivers absolutely love this racetrack. Awesome,
Exciting, challenging, a bit relentless in that you cannot let up in terms of your focus anywhere around this 2.19 mile circuit with 12 turns in it, because there are combinations of corners. The elevation change is maybe the biggest thing in terms of a temporary street circuit.
Agreed.
To have that much elevation change heading up to and then down from the Remington Horseshoe is pretty exciting.
We're seeing the shot here with the AMR IndyCar team down here in 10, so I got to believe that's where Brady Golan went off at the end of the straightaway there. And I'll say this, we haven't really brought this up yet today, Todd. We talk about the physicality of driving these race cars. We talk about the learning and not making the mistakes, and you go quicker and quicker as you work your way up through our 3 levels of our program. But at a track like this, the concrete canyon, concrete walls everywhere, fencing where you are, when we see it, it looks wide open. When you're going down that back straightaway to 5 and then all the way down to 6, you feel like you're in a tunnel because the walls are on both sides, the fencing is the same way, it's a tunnel all the way down. Where I'm going with this is it's 100% focus from start to finish. There's the physicality, as we know, but the mental effort that's put into a 25-lap race, and then you think about IndyCar running as many laps as they are, such a longer distance with the pit stops. It's just the mental focus for these young drivers it always amazes me.
And as you say, the walls are around you as you have your perspective. If you walk the track or have an opportunity to see one, then you have a perspective from 3-4 feet above the concrete walls. These drivers in those cars are essentially sitting on the track as they make their way around at top speed, and that's where the concrete tunnel comes in.
And Todd, even with the inclination of the seats here with their feet essentially above their butts, they're laying on the racetrack for all intents and purposes because they are laid back so much in these race cars. So again, you see the lights are still on in the pace car here. We're working lap number 15, still 20 minutes remaining in the clock. And again, our lap times that we're seeing here, around the 1:23s. So once we get back at it, we're probably, we're going to be less than 10 minutes of racing once we do go back to green. Again, Andres Cardenas, a fantastic pass in this corner, or rather into turn number 6, was able to get through 6 and held the spot down into the 7-8 combination. Jeffers was there to potentially try to find a way back by, but not quite enough as Cardenas with the open racetrack as well. All that air coming over the front wing, it was Jeffers that had to deal with the aero wash of not being able to get all that grip you want on the front of the race car. Cardenas taking that lead, the first he's had here this weekend, looking to get that initial win here in USF Pro 2000. Jeffers runs in second, the point leader coming into the day. G3 Argyros third in points behind Leonardo Scorpioni after a podium run yesterday. Thomas Schrag runs fourth, Sebastian Manson fifth, Teddy Masella in sixth spot, Colin Aiken seventh, Tyke Durst eighth, Frankie Mossman ninth, and JT Hoskins, who had gone off and back on the lead lap still at the tail of the field, as we have 10 drivers remaining on the racetrack.
It started with the pressure from Cardenas on Jack Jeffers, and he locked up that left front, headed into the Remington Horseshoe, and he did not let up in terms of the pressure. And then on that restart, Cardenas took advantage, made the move, was able to capture the lead, and then extend it just a little bit before this latest caution period. Jeffers will be trying a little role reversal here. He'll be trying to retake that position. Again, the restart, the best opportunity to do that.
I did say 10 drivers on the racetrack. It's actually 11. Whatever the issue was with Joey Brienza, he is 6 laps down, but his exclusive Autosport team able to remedy that, get it diagnosed, and get him back out onto the racetrack. Again, crucial laps around this track. It's not a track that we can come and test on. It's not a Road America or a Mid-Ohio where we spend a lot of time circulating around that track. This is a facility you run once a year, so the more laps you can get, the better you're going to be prepared when you come back in 2027.
And we should be getting ready to go back to speed. The lights have gone out on the Honda Civic Pace car, so now everyone preparing for the restart to get back to green flag racing.
Andres Cardenas for Jay Howard Driver Development, Jack Jeffers for Exclusive Autosport, G3 Argyros for Pabst Racing, Thomas Schrag for TJ Speed Motorsports, Sebastian Manson for Turn 3 Motorsports, and Teddy Masella for VRD Racing. All 6 teams in the USF Pro 2000 paddock are represented here on the top 6. Who will come away with the race win? Will it be another victory for Jack Jeffers, or does Cardenas, your leader, get that first win that he's been looking for, trying to get the victory for Jay Howard Driver Development? That team, former champions, as we know, with Christian Rasmussen here in both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. That car of Cardenas, a similar livery to the Ed Carpenter Racing drivers, Alexander Rossi and Christian Rasmussen. Of course, the partnership with Jay Howard's program. And away we go through turn number 9. Coming back at it once again, Andres Cardenas will take the green flag when they come back around. He'll be the first to punch off coming out of turn number 12. He'll try to keep the field at pace car speed. Back at it right now, and away we go. How do things look on the opening lap? Cardenas gets a good jump out of turn number 12. Argyros right there with Argyros is in the wall. Argyros hard into the turn 2 wall. He'll go to the outside of turn number 3 and in the wall again. Argyros tried to take a big bite at turn number 1. Did not get through. I think he might have lost the rear of the car. Bam! Into the wall, the outside of 2. That's P3 on both the racetrack and P3 in the championship. Full course yellow will come out here momentarily. We normally let the drivers race a little bit to see if we can't let them have at least the end of this lap. There's a pass potentially there. As they come down the back chute, watch for the yellow flag to come out. But again, we are going to let them race for a couple of laps here as we go back to green flag racing. But a tough one there for G3 Argyros as he clouts the concrete wall on the inside of turn number 2. Wow, that was a hard hit for Argyros. AMR IndyCar safety team is already, you see coming out of the racetrack there, full course yellow came out. That was close coming through that part of the racetrack. Again, all these drivers are going to woe things up as the AMR drivers are rolling around track here. Man, oh man, we'll of course get a look at that restart, and I wondered, you could see, I think Argyros in his mind was, I'm going by in turn number 3. I think he got a good run out of 12. He was right up on the gearbox behind Jeffers, and you have to believe his mindset was, I'm going to P2 when we get out of this corner.
We were focused on the battle out front with Cardenas and Jeffers, and maybe him looking for an opportunity to get by and retake the lead. Argyros was also having the same thoughts in his mind and getting by Jeffers to take another step up on the podium. And as we talked about earlier, getting a good run through 12 across the start-finish line. You can't really go side by side and make a pass through corners number 1 and 2, but carrying enough speed through there to get you lined up for corner number 3, and Argyros got it just a little bit wrong and hit the wall hard.
When we get a chance to see the replay, he was right on the gearbox of Jeffers coming across the start-finish line. And when you get that kind of a run, and you've been running third, and they've been pulling away from you, any of these drivers' mindsets is, this is my one opportunity. If we go green to the end here, this is going to be my only shot at it, unless we get another yellow. He was right there with them, and I want to feel, because we only got that quick look, like the rear may have started to step out a little bit. Either that, or again, he just tried to maybe cut a little too much off of turn number 2. I call it the gauntlet, folks, because it is so tight through turns 1 and 2. It's essentially single file. You're going to see it when the IndyCar drivers come out here as well. Ideally, we'll get a chance to have a look at that replay, because, man, that was a hard hit for G3 Argyros. But again, as we know, the way that the cars are designed here, that if you hit hard like that, every one of where the tires and the wishbones connect to the car, there's a shear point there. So ideally, it's going to shear right off. The carbon fiber monocoque tub that we have, super safe. Of course, we've got the halo on the race car since 2022. But that was definitely a hard hit coming through that corner. So ideally, G3 is going to be fine. We're hoping to get some input on that right now, but again, a hard hit there. And the one thing I think, Todd, I think everybody knows, when you're coming through, the one thing could potentially happen would be a wrist, right? You're holding on to that wheel, and yes, there's shear points, but as soon as you hit that wall, it's going to turn the wheels immediately. If your hands are kind of locked in there, and at that point, G3 didn't know what was going to happen. It's not like you're going to a wall where you can pull your hands back. You have to worry about a potential wrist injury for G3 here.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll await further word. But you're right, if you know you're spinning and you're going to hit the wall, you see drivers that will take their hands off the wheel, put their arms across their chest as well sometimes, depending on the impact and if they have time to do so. But yes, we are looking for word on G3 Argyros, but yes, we saw it actually in the NASCAR Canada race yesterday. There was 2 cars that were battling for position in a similar manner, and the car on driver's right clipped that right side wall, and it just sends you right across the track.
Indeed. Field working its way around again here. So that's lap 19 in the books. With the severity of this incident, I'm wondering whether or not we actually may be done right now. They've indeed rolled the ambulance out there for G3 Argyros. I have not yet got an update from race control regarding a potential issue here for G3. But if you're going to roll the ambulance, he's complaining of some kind of pain. And again, it would not surprise me, as I said, if it could be a wrist. That's some of the things we've seen drivers do. Some drivers have had some issues where, again, that wheel gets jerked out of your hand. There's really not much you can do. So tough one for G3 Argyros. He was lining up to try to go for P2. But what that does is moves Thomas Schrag up into 3rd, Sebastian Manson to 4th spot. Teddy Masella will go to 5th. Tyke Durst up into 6th. Frankie Mossman 7th. Colin Aiken in 8th. And JT Hoskins. 9 drivers remain here. Again, we had a very chaotic USF 2000 race. For the most part here in USF Pro, it's just been the drivers, overcooking a corner and getting off into the runoff and having to get picked up from the runoff. This was the first actual kind of incident on track. And I was wondering, again, this is something that the IndyCar drivers are going to be making sure that they are wary of. Your line coming through 1 and 2 has to be precise. If you lose a little bit of it, it's going to be an issue. Waiting to potentially, folks, get a replay at this point. I'm just waiting for the opportunity to do that. Hopefully we'll get a chance to look at it. We'll be patient and hope for that to come up, and I'm sure we'll get it in a bit. Cardenas, Jeffers, Schrag. So let's have a look at what we got here, folks, on the replay. I'll try to walk you through. We'll see whether or not watch it here. Big right on behind him, coming through the corner. You know what? You know what, Todd? If we'll see this again. I think he may have hit turn number 1. I think coming through to the right side of the screen. I think the left side of the car might have hit there and then kind of sent him across. I talked about the car looking like it may have been loose a little bit. I have a feeling he may have hit coming into the corner and not actually just lost it. And the car kind of shot across the racetrack.
It's just a light brush of the wall on the inside that would be enough at speed on a restart like that would send you wide.
So keep a look at this again. Right on him. Watch the car. See if he hits the left side of the car, taps him, and again, the line has to be precise. The minute he hits the left, shoots the car to the side, and he comes around the corner and it starts to rotate, and he clouts it hard with the right rear. That was tough tough for G3 Argyros there. As he was he up on the gearbox? Did he turn in and maybe lose a little bit? Did it push a little bit? A little understeer on the entry to turn number 1. Just, I hate to see it. Thankfully, hopefully G3 is going to be okay. We'll try to give you an update on our social media channels, folks, when you, because obviously we're getting close to getting this one done. There's only 5 laps remaining here, still 9.5 minutes remaining. We'll go green as soon as we possibly can, but man, tough one for G3 Argyros.
And it's just the slightest brush is enough to loosen up the back end and send you across, and there's absolutely no time to even think about correcting, and especially in that tight an area, that outside wall is going to come up on you so quickly.
The minute he makes contact, he's a passenger at that point, because the car is going to hit there. You're on throttle. It's all of a sudden getting thrown to the other side of the racetrack. Really, again, you're just along for the ride, and it happens so quickly. We all saw how quickly that car went to the right side of the racetrack. So Cardenas, Jeffers, Schrag, Manson, and Masella, your top 5. And again, with the quick action of the AMR safety team, we may get a couple more laps to wrap this thing up for USF Pro 2000. Cardenas would like it to go all the way to the end under yellow, but I don't think he's going to get that wish. Jeffers looking for an opportunity to go back by Thomas Schrag. How about him, P3? He was putting all that pressure on Argyros throughout the mid part of that race. Now he finds himself in third with a potential to, you never know, go even a spot forward. So let's see how things play out here as Cardenas and Jeffers, fastest drivers on the racetrack over the last couple laps. The fastest lap of 1:23.648 for Cardenas. That will be a bonus point if it holds. The car is, of course, as we know, getting lighter and lighter, Todd. But again, drivers are going to start thinking aggression. They're going to start thinking defense a bit here. I don't know that we'll see another fast lap come here late.
We had a late caution in yesterday's race that set up a 2-lap dash to the finish. In fact, it was G3 Argyros who was trying to pursue Jack Jeffers. Jeffers held on to turn the fastest lap of the race and scored the pole for today and managed to hold on for the victory. Jeffers will be in the opposite role today. He'll be the one who is pursuing and getting ready to try to retake that lead and sweep the weekend.
Yeah, being told 1 to go at the line, so we're going to have 3 laps at the end. They'll put lap 21 in here. It'll be lap 22 we come back around, so 3-lap dash at the end. And folks, if you're trackside here and want to continue to follow the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series, make sure to download our USF Pro Championships app. We have all our live timing on the app. You can watch all of our races. If you're not able to be trackside, all the races streamed on the app as well. We have a mini documentary series called Driven that's on there as well. My USF Pro Insider podcast is there as well. All the driver bios, the schedules, all the information on this USF Pro Championships, all available on the downloadable app for both, of course, iPhones and Android devices as well. Circulating around for a 3-lap dash to cap things off here for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. Championship implications aplenty. First and foremost, Leonardo Scorpioni not able to be here this weekend's travel restrictions attached to his green card application. And then, of course, the issue for G3 Argyros there. 3rd place in points coming into the day. He's going to finish down in the 10th position, so that's going to drop him back a little bit, especially with Jeffers running currently in the 2nd spot. So a lot's going on. Again, we go to the Milwaukee in a couple of weeks' time, then wrap things up with a triple header at Road America. Lots of points still up for grabs, Todd. But again, thinking about the championship here for these drivers, because it's $593,000 available to move up to Indy next in 2027.
You understand the intensity and the desire to pick up that big scholarship, such an enormous help for these drivers trying to continue their career.
Yeah, I often talk about the drivers that we've had that have won championships before and have been able to use it to jump up into Indy next and eventually IndyCar. You know, Renus VK, Cal Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen. In today's poll sitter, Louis Foster, the champion in 2022. And you know, you get a chance in this category to run so many of the racetracks that IndyCar does go to. The experience is there for that. And again, you're running in front of the IndyCar team owners as well. They know what's going on. They know who you are. They know what you're doing. So indeed, important to be successful at this level of the program. Andres Cardenas, folks, for Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by ECR, looking for his first victory. He'll be the first to punch off in turn number 12. Let's see what we have here. It'll be a 3-lap dash to the end if we keep it clean. Cardenas, Jeffers, Schrag, 1, 2, 3, and away we go. We're back at it again. Green flag flying back through turns 1 and 2 and 3. Do they get cleanly through? They do. You wonder whether or not Schrag will get super aggressive. He looks to the inside there. Remember, was trying to get to P3, but it's been gifted to him by the contact in turn 2 for Argyros. Does he keep pushing to try to get to second, or is a podium going to be good enough for Thomas Schrag here today? If I know Thomas, he is pushing at 110% still to try to see if he can't grab second from Jack Jeffers.
Well, judging by the way he came towards corner number 3, I think that Thomas Schrag's aggression is still going to be there. Sebastian Manson is also on his gearbox.
Manson got a great run, Todd, through that corner. In fact, Schrag looks like he's now on the defense. Look at Schrag going to the inside a bit here. Indeed, going to keep to the inside of the racetrack. Manson's right there, as is Teddy Masella. And indeed a move to the inside. How about an over-under here potentially from Manson coming through 6? Does he get a better run out of the corner? Oh, a big run. Defense down the inside. They're going to go side by side, folks, up into turn number 7. Manson on the outside. Not quite enough. A good defense there for Thomas Schrag. Manson's going to look to the inside, though, at turn number 8. They'll be side by side out of 8. Here they come, first, second. Who's going to grab third? It's Manson on the inside, Schrag on the outside through turn number 9. Side by side over to turn number 10. Great battle for P3. Schrag's going to have it to the inside. Not quite enough for Manson. Man, oh man, good stuff. Manson's still there. It's bringing Masella, Durst, and Mossman back into it. The leaders have checked out, 2 to go. They'll fight now for P3. Man, I'll tell you, Schrag was thinking about being on the offensive, but now he's got Manson all over him. Same goes for Mossman, trying to find a way by Tyke Durst. First and second checking out, half a second lead for Cardenas, but the fight here is for P3. Some good stuff as Thomas Schrag doing everything he can to hold on to third. Sebastian Manson, Todd, I thought he had him there as they went side by side through turn number 8.
They went side by side through a number of corners, and Thomas Schrag managed to just hold on to that final podium position. Looks like he's finally started to give himself just a little bit of a gap, but it was a great battle between Manson and Schrag.
White flag will fly for Andres Cardenas the next time around, but Jack Jeffers is not done. Look how close Jeffers was. There's the battle for third there. Coming through turn number 6, that decreasing radius right-hander, cars loaded up under braking. We saw some great overtakes there throughout this weekend. Schrag has got to do everything he can to hold off Manson. Sebastian tried to get his first career USF Pro 2000 podium. Jeffers not done yet as well with Cardenas. He's putting the pressure on. A second place would be big for points for Jeffers. Trying to stretch that lead over a Scorpione heading to Milwaukee in 2 weeks' time. And again, white flag flying now. Andres Cardenas trying to see if he can't come away with the victory here. He's been pushing so hard throughout the year to get that race win. It's been big. 5 wins for Scorpione, 3 for Jeffers, 3 for Argyros. It is 1 for Michael Costello, 1 for Jacob Douglas. This would be our 6th different winner on the season. Cardenas trying to get the victory. Big enough of a gap, a little bit deeper into turn 5 to make sure he can get that car turned around. A good exit as well, and the same goes for Thomas Schrag. He's finally been able to, I think, pull away, take a deep breath as Manson no longer in the position to challenge, and Andres Cardenas just needs to keep that car at apex. Make sure you nail the exit points, keep it off the wall. Jeffers is going to keep pushing. Last time by, he was about 2/10 quicker than Jeffers to stretch it out to 6/10 out of turn 6. Final lap here for Andres Cardenas. And Jay Howard, driver development, trying to go to the top of the box here in USF Pro 2000. Turn 3 exclusive, and Pabst have won races this year. It'll be the 4th different team to win on the season as well. Through turn number 9. Again, still with, we're actually right up on the time limit too, with only 1 minute remaining. Out of the final quarters, folks, it's his first win in USF Pro 2000 from Peru, the victor here at Markham. USF Pro 2000, race number 2 goes to Andres Cardenas. A beautiful run for Cardenas, put the pressure on Jeffers, makes the pass, and then was able to hold off a couple of restarts to come away with his first win. The margin of victory, 0.64. A full brace of points as well, essentially 30 for the race win. Most laps led, I believe, at 16. Indeed, fast lap of the race, 32 points for Andres Cardenas. There is your top 10. Jack Jeffers, a strong run to second. Wasn't able to back up the victory yesterday, but nonetheless, the point lead that he will take over a Scorpione heading to Milwaukee is sizable. The Texan in the number 92 for Exclusive Autosport, trying to go back-to-back on scholarships as he won USF 2000 last year, trying to do it in pro this year. Thomas Schrag up onto the podium as well. A strong run for Thomas in the number 26 for TJ Speed Motorsports, his first podium of the year. And a lot of them last year with wins in USF 2000. Thomas in third. That is your podium. Sebastian Manson, though Todd made him work for it at the very end of that one.
That was some of the best racing that you'll see in the USF Pro 2000 series. That's the kind of racing that you want to watch these racers through 6, 7, 8, running side by side, giving each other plenty of racing room, but hard racing, fighting for every position.
And I think for, obviously, the track designer, Tony Cotman, and those that put this racetrack together, that's what you wanted to see. It's always going to be an unknown quantity when you come to a brand new street circuit, right? Is it going to race? The drivers love driving it, but is it racing? Where can you make passes? We saw a number of them around the racetrack. So again, a fantastic run there for the USF Pro 2000 drivers. Hated to see it there for G3 Argyros after that contact in turn number 2. We wish him the best. Hopefully he is all right. We'll again try to give you an update on our social media channels, folks, if you want to kind of check in. I'm sure the team will do the same as well. But again, Andres Cardenas with the win, Jack Jefferson second, Thomas Schrag in third. Field will work its way back to pit lane. We'll grab all 3 of those drivers, get them on a golf cart, get them over to victory lane, because as we know, folks, we are very close to getting things underway with the opening ceremonies for the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy at Markham. Todd, I'll pass it over to you. You can throw it down. I'll make sure I'll be faster than these guys on the racetrack getting through victory lane, because the IndyCar guys are getting ready to go. But again, thank you so much. I appreciate working with you, Todd. I know we'll cap things off with them trackside, but I'll come back and see you when I'm done.
Let's go down to Rob Howden right now, who's got our podium ceremonies.
Todd, thank you so much indeed. I've got 5 minutes to get this done because, as we know, the opening ceremony is getting ready to roll. The IndyCar drivers are coming over here. But a fantastic drive for the guys here at USF Pro 2000. Let's get things underway, folks. Finishing third place today for TJ Speed Motorsports, Thomas Schrag. Great job, Thomas. Finishing in second spot, he'll take the point lead to the Milwaukee Mile. Yesterday's winner, folks, USF 2000 champion last year for exclusive Autosport. P2 today, Jack Jeffers. And folks, do me a favor, this driver here is from Peru. He got his visa to come here this weekend on Thursday. Had to fly through New York to get here. His first season in the program, his very first race win here at USF Pro 2000. So do me a favor, let him feel it. Folks, from Peru and J. Howard Driver Development, Andres Cardenas. Great job for Andres. Able to get by Jack Jeffers, held back a couple of restarts, and I'm telling you, when these young drivers get that first victory here in this program, it takes so much pressure off, and you'll watch him potentially win again before the end of the season. 3 different teams on the podium as well, with J. Howard Driver Development, Exclusive Autosport, and TJ Speed. Great stuff there for the drivers here in USF Pro 2000, and back on the track in only a couple of weeks' time at the Milwaukee Mile. Guys, congratulations, well done. And folks, one more time, they're gonna grab the champagne. Round of applause, guys, grip it and rip it. Celebrate your success here at the Honda Dealers of Ontario, Markham, Indy. Amazing racing for the drivers here at USF Pro 2000. Those of you joining us on the live stream, thank you so much for being part of it. A great weekend here, some ups and downs, some craziness, of course, as we know, in USF 2000. But our pro drivers are our pro drivers for a reason, a very impressive run throughout the entire 25-lap distance. That caps things off here from Markham, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thanks for tuning into the broadcast here on the YouTube channel. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.